All right, it's Saturday, June 22nd, the Ultimate World Cruise. We're just arriving in Koper, Slovenia. We're going to go see Lake Bled and Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia. So, our first stop was going up to Lake Bled, where you could see the backside of Lake Bled Castle here. Bled Castle, it was started in 1011, so it's been there for quite a long time. I think it's Slovenia's oldest castle. You'll see the front of it on top of the rocks in a few minutes as we go look at the lake. So this is Lake Bled. It is beautiful. It looks like it's glacial water, the color of it. And that little island you see right there is the only island in all of Slovenia. It happens to be out in the middle of Lake Bled. And we're going to get on one of those boats you see right there on the right. And we're going to go out and visit that little island. There's a church and some other stuff out there to look at. And so that's our plan for the day. So Slovenia is an interesting country. It was used to be part of Yugoslavia. It gained independence in 1991 when Yugoslavia split up, and Serbia and Montenegro and Slovenia and one more country. Anyway, they all split off from Yugoslavia. Now Slovenia is an independent country. Look at those trout swimming around in there. This water, it's beautiful water. The color of it's, like I mentioned, it looks like glacial water, but there's lots of fish in here. Some big ones. You'll see some big 3-footers in a little while. We'll go out to the island. So you're going to see the castle out there on that rock. The castle. And pretty much impenetrable where it is up there on that rock. Like they were totally warring back in those days, medieval days, and it was protection from the invaders was always an important part. This lake has it all. It has it's warm enough to swim in. It's got paddleboarding. It's got canoeing. It's got even scuba diving. I'll show you in a minute. No motors are allowed on the lake, so it's very pleasant place. Now look at this picture as we're headed out there in that boat. Look at the reflection on the water, clouds, the bell tower on the church. It's just beautiful. Looks like a postcard. So calm and serene. The wind kicked up a little later in the afternoon. We got a little breeze, not much, but enough to take away the reflection on the water like this. So this was unique. You could see the Slovenian flag on the front of the boat right there. Anyway, we weren't quite sure what we're going to do out here on the island. There was supposed to be some things to do. There's that church and there's a bell tower, and supposedly you can go up and ring the bell after you make a wish. And so we're going to go out there and see what there is to see. We were with a group of 8 people off the ship. It was our independent journey today. It wasn't a Royal Caribbean excursion. It was our own making. So after we go to Lake Bled today, we're going to go to Ljubljana, which is the capital of Slovenia. And we're going to look around Ljubljana. It's on the way back to Koper. So this Lake Bled's right near the Austrian border. We are 165 miles away from where my granddaughter Jessica is today in Austria. We're right just south of the Austrian border up in the Alps. The beginning of the Alps, it's Slovenian Alps. And this is a beautiful country up here. We both said we could come here and stay for a week or two. There's probably plenty of things to do. So what they do is you pay them 18 euros a piece for this ride back and forth. And they come back and pick you up in 45 minutes. The island's not that big, so there's not that much to do. I think there's like a government building there with the 2 flags. There's a restaurant over to the right. So, yeah, restaurant. And we didn't know there was another entry fee to get in this church and up the bell tower. When I got over there, I found out that it was another 12.50 euros a piece. So another would have cost us another 25 euros for the privilege of climbing up the stairs and ringing the bell. We decided not to do that. So there's a pathway around the outside of the island we decided to go have a look at. But there were some up there ringing the bell. You'll hear it in a minute. Probably a third of the people on the island were off of our ship today. This is where I found out the cost of going in. I said, oh, that's not going to happen. Here's the door where you go in the bell tower and climb up there to ring the bell. So in our circumnavigation of the island, it's pretty beautiful out there. There's some buoys out there in the water. I guess they have some kind of a race, either paddle boarding or canoeing or something out there. So when I went back down and walked around the island, I saw these bubbles coming up in the water. You can see them right there in the foreground. I thought, what's going on? And I realized there was a couple of guys scuba diving, so I quickly stuck my camera underwater to see if I could catch what they were doing. My video camera is good for 30 feet of submersion without any problem. So I don't know what they were looking for down there. The lake itself is maximum of 90 feet deep at its deepest point. So I'm not exactly sure what those guys are looking for. But it looked like something fun to do. Maybe there's some shipwrecks or something down there. All right, there's another view of the castle on that big rock out there. And there's another chapel off to the right of the castle you can see down near the water. So this is where I found the big fish. I couldn't tell what kind of fish they were. They had whiskers like catfish, but the tail of them looked like an eel. So it was hard for me to tell exactly what they were, but I saw them through these branches. If you look down through the branches, you can see them swimming around in the water down there. I got a little better view of those fish through the branches down here. And I'm pretty sure the biggest one was about 3 feet. So I don't know if they're good to eat or if you could catch them or what, but yeah, look carefully. You can see them through the branches. A little better view coming up right about here. It's hard to judge where, there you go. Hard to judge where to hold the camera to get the best shot through the leaves. Anyway, so after we finished with Lake Bled, on our way back to Koper, we stopped in Ljubljana, which is the capital. And it is a beautiful European city. I think the guide said there's only about 300,000 people that live there. So it's a very walkable city. This is the main square in the middle of it. Got these roads that converge on the center of it. So it's like a symbolic gathering. And what European city would be complete, would be worth its salt without a river running through it and boat rides along the river. So it's a beautiful city. It was no damage to it during World War II, so it survived pretty much intact. It's beautiful. So we walked around the old town. We found a place to sit down and get something to eat, just enjoy the afternoon. It was such a beautiful day. We did not take one of the river boat rides, kind of reminiscent of San Antonio and the river walk. But These old town streets were lined with restaurants and outdoor cafes and just a like totally European experience like we had in Serbia and Croatia. Just a very pleasant place. I'd love to come back and spend some more time. That's the thing with this cruise. You only get a few hours in each place you go, but at least you can figure out where you might want to go back to. And this is definitely a place we would enjoy coming back to for a while. Our last stop was the city hall, and you can see there's not very many people out. It's a Saturday in the afternoon and not very crowded, so a very pleasant place to be. Lots of bicycles, cobblestone. Yep. So join us tomorrow. We'll be in Zadar, Croatia, producing another video of our exploring of Zadar.